There's someone special I'd like you to meet. So you only get one of these in a lifetime, and if you're fortunate enough to get one, it could be the greatest thing in the world. I'd like to meet my mom. So, my mom was born in a small area in Puerto Rico called Guayama. They call it De los Brujos. I don't know why. I was never really informed, but she was born there. And growing up, you know, she was always the hard-working woman that anyone could possibly imagine. Puerto Ricans are very hard-headed, very strong, but they always like to work. My mom was always loved to work and always loved to learn. And there came a point in time when she eventually came to New York City. Someone very ugly. I'm talking about my dad. I'm kidding. They met in Queens. Yeah, in a beach. The one thing I remember about my mom, she always laughed. She always smiled. So that's where the love began. We got married in 1976, moved in, and started making a family. There was 4 of us. First child, my mom lost. Parents tried again. And my brother, George, was born. And then my brother, Rodney. And finally, me. Unfortunately, the sad reality of life and most people's lives that my parents didn't really get the education they should have gotten. My mom only finished high school. My dad finished some parts of college, I believe. And yeah, I mean, despite all that, they still worked their asses off. Still worked as hard as they can to get some food on the table. And don't get me wrong, they were hard times. There were some times where all I've had was arroz con salami, which is rice and salami. And sometimes for breakfast it would just be a slice of bread and some milk. Life was rough, but mom still did it. Dad still did it. And my dad was in a really bad car accident, and then my mom stepped up. It was really hard on her, don't get me wrong, but she still did it. My mom was a nursing aide, she was a teaching aide, she was a home health aide, and then finally at the end of her career, her last job, she worked in retail at a place called D&D. It was a place on 52nd Street and 5th Avenue in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. I remember seeing her at work. She's always smiling. I would never forget that. Always smiling, always laughing. Times were rough, but she still managed to keep a smile, you know? Oh. I didn't make much of it, but my mom, when she was working in D&D, she started to become ill. My mother was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's while I was in junior high school. She couldn't do her job. She started forgetting little things here and there, or simple tasks that was told to be done. And ultimately, she had to stop. I didn't think much of it. I was still in junior high school when it all happened. Her day-to-day functions just slowly diminished. She started to become a child again. What you would consider as a baby, you know, feeding, cleaning, all that stuff, showering and all that, yeah. That was the sad reality of it. But my brother happened to get a job, picked up some slack. My older brother went to the Navy, and eventually I got a job at CFL, working with kids. And yeah, mom slowly started to slip away. Day-to-day functions were just really hard on her. Her memory slipped. And again, I didn't think much of it. But when I started doing all the responsibilities, it just became more apparent. I didn't really go out. I had to go home and take care of her. My brother, we would swap. And my ex at the time, she would also help out. And But one thing I will always remember about my mom, she always smiled. She didn't know what was going on, because the moment that she was smiling, that was the only moment she could remember until the next moment, because she wouldn't remember the next. And as I got older, my mom started to lose the function to be able to talk. And I'll never forget this day when I was 19 years old, coming home from college. I said hi to her, and she didn't recognize me. More time went on, and it got rough, don't get me wrong. Not a lot of people know this, but I was in college at the time, working a full-time job, and taking care of my mom. And my grades got so bad, I was dismissed from Baruch in 2012, sorry. Yeah. And then more tragic news happened. My mother in 2014 was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. And at that time, I also got back into college, taking it slowly. I didn't know if I was able to do it, but I did it. As I've always said about my mom, she's always smiled. She didn't know what was going on around her, but she always smiled. She always laughed. She loved dancing. She loved loving, just giving back, putting on a smile. And when she was diagnosed with the cancer, I think the Alzheimer's is a little blessing in disguise. She didn't know what was going on. Finally, in October 2015, on October 22nd, Mom went home. Is this it? Alright, thank you. Thank you. My mom always loved cheesecake, so at the end of every day of her birthday, we cut her a cake. Happy birthday, Mom.